sure that badge is real?
When I was a kid, I used to watch Columbo at my grandma's house. Hated it. Thought it was the most boring show on television. This rumpled short guy in an ugly coat, shuffling around asking questions about nothing.
No? Yeah, knew you'd get it.
I used to think he looked like Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. Like, why is he everywhere? I didn't get it. And I especially didn't get why he was always wearing that stupid raincoat when it was clearly hot and sunny outside. Sir, take it off. Cut to me now, nearly 2 decades later, having watched probably 50 episodes of the show voluntarily. Yeah, voluntarily. And I finally understand. That coat? It's not bad costume design. It's the entire strategy. Today, we're talking about the most functional piece of clothing in television history, a coat so deliberately ugly that it became Columbo's primary weapon. Because here's what I eventually figured out. That raincoat does more detective work than most TV cops do with guns, car chases, and forensic labs combined. It's camouflage. It's psychology. And once you see how it works, you can't watch the show the same way. In other words, why this ugly little coat might be the cleverest thing on television. Quick bit of context. Peter Falk bought this coat himself before the pilot, Prescription Murder. Just grabbed it from some shop in New York.
Falk had a raincoat. I think he said it was bought on 57th Street. It was raining one time in New York City, and he ducked into a store and bought a raincoat.
There's no doubt he loved it.
You've been treating that coat well.
Yes, I do treat it well. I put a saucer of milk out for it every night.
The question is, why does it work? Why does a detective in an unnecessary raincoat become more iconic than every slick, well-dressed TV cop who came after him?
Investigators seem so...
Okay, so here's the thing I completely missed as a kid. Every killer in this show is rich. Not just comfortable, rich. They have wine cellars, vacation homes, original paintings, and opinions about architecture. They live in houses that have names. And then Columbo walks in wearing a coat that looks like he slept in his car, which honestly he might have. Watch what happens. They relax. You can see it in their faces. This is what got sent to investigate them.
You mean that old heap out there is yours?
Oh, yeah. Needs a coat of paint, doesn't it?
They look at him and think, not a threat. And that's the trap. See, when I was watching this as a kid, I was doing the exact same thing those killers do. I looked at Columbo and thought he seemed run down and boring. I didn't understand why anyone would watch this show. The guy looked like someone's uncle who got lost on the way to the homeless shelter. And I'm not wrong. We can never forget the nun scene. I'm sorry, but she's completely justified.
I'm sorry. Would you wait here? George, would you bring a tray, please? Won't you join us, brother? Oh, that coat. That coat.
I'm from the police force, ma'am. My name is Lieutenant Columbo.
How clever you are, Lieutenant. You know you fooled even me. Oh, and please, I won't tell a soul about your disguise.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
But I underestimated him, the same way every murderer does. That's what the coat is for. It's not accidental. It's not lazy. It's baked. The coat tells you, I'm not worth worrying about. I'm beneath you. You can let your guard down. And by the time you realize you were wrong, Columbo's already sitting in your kitchen asking about your alibi, while you instinctively start explaining yourself to a man you thought was nobody. Or worse, you're faking helping him solve the case while smugly comparing him to a book character you didn't even have a hand in writing.
See, if Mrs. Melville were on this case, she'd be leaps and bounds ahead of you by now.
The cult does a couple of very specific things. First, it's visual noise. It makes people underestimate his intelligence. They see wrinkles and assume incompetence. Every conversation starts with them thinking they're smarter than him. That assumption is what gets them caught. Second, it buys him time. Rich people have a reflex. They know how to dismiss service workers, assistants, anyone who looks like help. Columbo looks like help, so they let him linger, let him poke around, let him ask his harmless questions. By the time they realize he's not leaving, he's been cataloging every contradiction in their story for 20 minutes.
Well, General, I'd like to keep the record straight on that. Now, I never said that it was a man.
Third, it lets him perform humility without saying a word. He never claims to be bumbling. The cult does it for him, which means he can be sharp in the actual conversation while maintaining plausible deniability about his intelligence. Most killers we see are arrogant, but the one that grinds my gears the most are those two teenage kids from season 10. I mean, look at how they treat Columbo.
Yeah. Do you think Columbo's parents were related?
I found out one thing for sure tonight.
The cult is doing so much work that Columbo barely has to pretend. He just shows up looking like that, and people write their own story about who he is. Wrong story every time.
Take all the time you need.
And they're furious. Not just because they got caught, because they got caught by him, by someone they didn't think was worth taking seriously. My favorite gotcha moment has to be Candidate for Crime. I mean, look at Jackie Cooper's face. Suitable for framing is a close second.
When they were working on it, he touched them. You.
The coat is proof that you don't need to look powerful to be powerful. You just need people to think you're not. But here's the thing that makes this even better. The coat isn't just disarming murderers, it's part of how Columbo himself works. In season 5's Now You See Him, Mrs. Columbo buys him a new raincoat for his birthday. Brand new, crisp, respectable. Columbo tries to wear it. He can't think in it.
Assume he knew the person that came in. I got to take off this coat. I can't think of this coat. Pardon me? The coat. I can't think of the coat. Oh.
Sir.
And as if the new coat wasn't already messing with his mojo, we've got Sergeant Wilson asking a million questions too. Columbo's really getting a taste of his own medicine here.
Lieutenant!
What is it?
Your coat, sir. You forgot your coat. Lieutenant.
Sir.
Coat.
Just leave the car.
What's Doctor Who without the TARDIS? Sherlock without his pipe? Mr. Bean without his teddy bear? Indiana without his whip? Columbo and his jacket, it's the same story. If he's wearing it over a tux or using it as a bathrobe, that's not costume. That's identity. If I was a notable figure in LA planning a murder, first thing I'm doing is hiding Columbo's jacket. And maybe, just maybe, I'd stand a chance.
Or somebody tries to lift it, you look the other way.
So it's been 50 years, and this coat is still rattling around in pop culture. You see versions of it everywhere now. The unassuming genius wrapped in something ordinary. Poker Face basically runs on this energy. There's something about this archetype that never gets old. The person everyone dismisses who turns out to be 3 steps ahead the entire time. And I think it works because we've all been underestimated. We've all been in a room where someone assumed we were stupid based on how we looked or talked or dressed. Watching Columbo win with that coat on, it's vicarious revenge for every time someone wrote you off. That's why it still feels good. That's why I went from hating the show as a kid to watching it voluntarily as an adult. It's not nostalgia. It's not about the 70s. It's about watching arrogance get methodically disassembled by someone who refused to look impressive. Like, refused.
Some men, Lieutenant, do not want to look like an unmade bed.
One more thing about this coat. It never changes. The world around Columbo changes. Cars get newer, LA gets shinier, fashion moves on. But the coat stays exactly the same. And that's what makes it work. The coat isn't just a costume, it's a timeline. You can see the years on it, the weight of every murderer who underestimated him. There's something almost absurd about that commitment. TV shows reboot, styles change, But Columbo just kept showing up in the same stained coat. It became more authentic by refusing to update. The more TV tried to modernize detectives, the more timeless that shabby coat became. So, maybe the raincoat wasn't about the weather at all. It's about who gets taken seriously versus who gets ignored, and who quietly turns being underestimated into the most effective interrogation technique in television history. When I was a kid, I looked at that coat and thought, this show looks cheap and boring. Now I look at it and think, oh, I was the mark. I fell for it, just like everyone else. That coat taught me something I didn't expect from a 70s detective show. You don't need to look impressive to be unstoppable. You just need everyone else to think you're not paying attention. And that's the smartest dumb jacket in television history. Thanks for watching. More Columbo deep dives coming soon. Please like and subscribe. And if you've got a favorite coat moment from the show, drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for new episodes to overanalyze. And hey, has there ever been a time someone underestimated you? What did you do?